Good morning, everybody. This is Tyler's Talking Sports. If this is your first time tuning in, we're so glad to have you here. My name is Tyler Hess. On the other side of the mic, my brother from another mother, Tyler Castle. You'll meet him in a few minutes, and I think you'll like him. If this is your first time tuning in, you got to know what you're listening to. Here at Tyler's Talking Sports, we cover college football, we cover college basketball, we cover college baseball. You name it in the college world, we're talking about it. From breaking news to big games to new coaching hires to kids entering the transfer portal, we cover it all. So, if you love what you're listening to and you love this episode, be sure to find us on all major podcasting platforms. Find us on social media. We're on Twitter. We're on Facebook. Be sure to give us a follow and a like there. We're also on YouTube and TikTok, but on YouTube, be sure to give us a subscribe, because when you do, that allows you to get exclusive content that nobody else gets that's not subscribed to us. When you subscribe to us on YouTube, you get exclusive access to our 10-minute episodes that we drop weekly throughout the week. Plus, our 2 episodes we drop every Monday and Thursday at 6 a.m. You're not going to want to miss any of the content we have, and we appreciate you guys being here, and we hope you enjoy the episode.
This episode is brought to you by Next Level Fitness Club in Lebanon, Virginia. 1806 East Main Street, Lebanon, Virginia, 24266. They are a 24/7 gym facility, 24/7 tanning. They also offer certified personal training and certified functional fitness classes to fit all needs. If you're in the market for a gym membership, this is a great place to hit up. Hit up Ethan, Tyler, or Jordan at any of their numbers, and check out their website at www.nextlevelfitnessclub276.com.
This episode is brought to you by Little's Lawn Care. Little's Lawn Care is the all-you-need lawn care people. You need your yard mowed, you need your leaves blowed out of your yard, you need your gutters cleaned out, contact Little's Lawn Care at 276-698-5104. Again, that number is 276-698-5104. You can text them and you can call him. His name is Brandon Little. He's an incredible person, and be sure you let him know that Tyler sent you.
And we're live, Season 3, Episode number 9. March Madness time and baseball hot starts. Happy Monday morning. If it's your first time tuning in, this is Tyler's Talking Sports. On the other side of the mic, my brother from another mother, Tyler Hess, and myself, Tyler Castle, bringing you Tyler's Talking Sports. Again, guys, happy Monday morning. We're glad you're here. Hess, did you have a good weekend?
Yeah, bud, wasn't bad. Had Blakely's birthday party yesterday at the gymnastics place. That was really fun. She had a big time. Spent a lot of time with family over the weekend, just taking it easy most of the weekend. Didn't do too much. But
taking it easy.
After the work week I've had, I needed a little mental break.
Need a little break. I get that, man. I get that. It be like that sometimes.
What about you, bud? I know you had a little bit of sickness.
Yeah, just a normal weekend for me, I guess.
Yeah.
Worked a little bit yesterday for the gym, and I was actually going to bring that up about the push-pull meet recap. We did the push-pull announcing last Saturday.
Yep.
How was your first experience at the push-pull meet at Next Level Fitness Club?
It was great. Great environment. Really done well setup-wise. A lot of good help from what I could see from all the people there that volunteered their time to come out and help. It was good to see a big crowd. I enjoyed the crowd. The crowd had a lot of energy to them. It was
Most
good,
of them
man.
Stayed the entire day, too.
Yep, it was really good. Hats off to Next Level Fitness for putting that on and having us there to announce that. Got rave reviews on our announcing.
Yes, got like 3 or 4 people said they listened to the entire show.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool. Yeah. Just shouting this out right now. If anyone's out there that's got an event that wants Tyler's Talking Sports there, let us know.
Yeah.
We're available.
Yeah.
We'll have to do some editing on our technology side, but yeah.
We'll get there.
We'll get there. We'll be there. But if you want an event and you want us there, holler at us.
Yes.
We'll figure it out.
We'll make it work.
But yeah, my weekend's been good. Watching some sports now, watching some golf. Got some NASCAR coming up here. Y'all know I'm getting back into NASCAR. We got a race starting at 3:30, right?
Yeah, 3:30 at COTA.
3:30 in Texas, baby.
Yep.
So I'm looking forward to that. Feeling a little bit better today, so hopefully be 100%. Of course, go to work tomorrow, so I'm sure I'll be fine tomorrow. That's how it goes.
Yeah.
But yeah, can't complain. Still here, still breathing. Life's good. Also, too, guys, we did not get a 10-minute segment episode out this past week. That kind of just slipped right by. Hess and I both had a busy week. Both probably got busy weeks this week, too. But we'll try to get a 10-minute segment out for you all during the week. Just something 10-minute segment topic. Y'all know how we do it. It'll be on YouTube as well, so make sure y'all tune into that moving forward to next week. But speaking of this past week, we had some past week basketball recaps that we're getting ready to dive into. Hess, do you want to kick us off with this first one here?
Yeah, we had an electric game down in Knoxville yesterday. The Tennessee Vols playing the Alabama Crimson Tide. And this game, to me, this went every which way I wouldn't have not predicted it to go.
It was tight.
Had some players step up for Tennessee that you didn't really – haven't done it a lot lately this year. It's been pretty much like three guys, it seems like, for Tennessee's offense. But you had Masak stepped up in this game huge for Tennessee. Alabama –
Sorry, you said Masak. That got me.
Yeah, old Masak. Hey, man, that's his name.
Hey, Masak.
Masak.
Close enough.
Masak.
I got me. That's a good one.
But yeah, he stepped up really big for them. But Chaz Lanier, I mean, doing what he's been doing, kind of being the catalyst of the offense for the Vols.
Absolutely.
Tennessee was down at half. It was 42-38 at half. Tennessee went in what they've been doing, the Rick Barnes halftime adjustments, came out and really played some really good ball. Alabama, they were in this game the entire time, nothing to hang their heads about, but got really down the stretch. If I was one point there with Alabama, was the closing, probably like 2 minutes ago, you could feel a momentum shift. It kind of felt like Tennessee was starting to take over down that stretch. And that last little bit, that last possession there where Tennessee or Alabama missed a free throw, Alabama gets it.
5-second call.
Yeah, the 5-second call. Like, I mean, Alabama just – the wheels fell off there at the end. And,
I mean, Alabama was up by 5.
Yeah, they
with
were.
a minute to go.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was 75-70.
Yeah.
And I was getting ready to cut it off because I was like, well, they're going to lose this one, you know? So I was getting mad already. But then I, stayed with it, and boom, we saw what happened. Yeah. Tennessee found a way to close out the game. I was pretty happy with the closeout. I thought it was kind of funny when Masak did hit the three-pointer. If y'all haven't seen that, go back and watch it. It was from the Tennessee E at half court. So that was a moonshot. And let's be honest, Masak is not a shooter at all by any means. He's out there for his defense. So to see him make that shot was really cool. But what's funny about that whole video is Rick Barnes was actually calling for a timeout. He wanted a timeout. He was yelling at the ref. As the ball was in the air, he was yelling at the ref. He didn't even see the shot go in. He was still calling a timeout.
Nice.
So I thought that was funny. And, for once, and he even said this after the game, like that was the best call he made all game was not getting that timeout call.
Yeah.
Because they won the game.
Honestly, yeah.
Tennessee escapes. Honestly, I knew this would be a tight game. Tennessee did not lead this game until like 4 or 5 minutes left in the second half. They finally took the first lead. I think it was like 70-68. But Alabama is definitely a scoring machine. This tells you how good Tennessee's defense is as well. Held Alabama to 76. Past 2 or 3 games, we talked about it, Alabama scored 90 to 100 points.
Yeah.
So Alabama's definitely a scoring team. Mark Sears was hot again. I felt like this dude could not miss. He really put him up, I think, by 8 or 9 there at one point because he hit a 3 from like 40 feet. So he had 24 points, 7 to 16 shooting. Chaz Lanier, as you mentioned, did lead the Vols with 18 points. Started off really hot. I think he was 5 of 6 or 5 of 7 from the field. Cooled off there in the second half, 7 to 16 shooting. Big player that stepped up, in my opinion, for Tennessee is Gainey. Yeah. Gainey had a great game. Really got hot right in the middle of the second half. Started hitting his floaters. I think he scored like 8 points in a row for Tennessee. So he got really hot. But big win. This will put Tennessee, catapult them to the first seed in the tourney. So very, very big win.
Yeah. You're talking about the SEC tourney.
SEC tourney, yes. They'll be a 1 seed.
As of now. Or are we done with the regular season?
No, I'm talking about March Madness.
Oh, they were already a 1.
Well, that solidified it. That's their 8th. That's also, too, their 8th ranked win, which is the most in program history.
Yeah. Hopefully. I mean, they gotta play good down the stretch. I mean, how many more regular season games we got?
We'll play Ole Miss this week. And then shouldn't be much more after that because we're getting ready to roll into conference play, conference tourney. Conference tourney is next weekend, so you got a couple more games before them.
So we got
right
here.
ACC tourney, SEC tourney is the 14th, 15th, right through there.
Yeah. Let's see here.
I know we play Ole Miss, I think, next. I think that's this coming Thursday.
No games Thursday.
Okay, Tuesday? Maybe?
Wednesday. At Ole Miss. Yeah, you got Ole Miss and South Carolina right out. So 2 games left.
2 games, okay.
So
I knew it wasn't much. Tennessee should win those games, hopefully. We'll see. I mean, Never know.
Let's see here. Let's look at the SEC. I'm going to just look at the SEC, see who's leading and whatnot right now.
Auburn did clinch. They won the SEC with that Alabama loss, so they did win the SEC. Regular season. SEC regular season.
Yep. Where is the SEC?
But I'm pretty sure that conversation for 1 or 2 seed was for the March Madness tourney. I'm about positive. It might have been for the SEC tourney, but I could have swore it was for March Madness.
I mean, they're
because 1 seed will be Auburn.
Yeah. Right now, it's Auburn leading the SEC. 2 seed right now will be Florida. Mm-hmm. Alabama will be the 3 seed in the SEC tournament.
Tennessee
will be 4 seed at 11-5 in SEC play. Then Missouri, Texas, Ole Miss, Kentucky, Vandy, or Mississippi State, and then Vandy, Arkansas, Georgia, Texas, Oklahoma.
Yeah, that's for March Madness.
Yeah. Right now they're saying Auburn as a 1, Florida as a 1, and then Joe Lenardi's saying it's a tie right now with Bama and Tennessee for the other 1. So it's 3 SECs, and then probably Duke is the other number 1. So really, probably whoever finishes the highest in the SEC tournament out of Alabama and Tennessee will be here.
Probably.
I would say. But yeah, I mean, that's a great year for Tennessee. I mean, they're doing what they should have done. That was a great basketball game. Mm-hmm. I enjoyed it. Classic Rick Barnes style game.
That was honestly, in my opinion, the best one we had all weekend.
Yeah, it was a really good one.
One of the best ones. We got another one on here that was a great game that I got to watch a little bit of it. Next game up here, Iowa State. Hess has been big on Iowa State Cyclones all year. I kind of like this team that they were playing, Arizona. They've kind of fell off here past couple weeks, of course, after we circled them. But Iowa State ends up whooping Arizona 84-67.
Yep.
Arizona drops to 19-10. Iowa State improves to a stellar 22-7. Iowa State dominated this entire game. I mean, they scored 43 in the first half against Arizona's 30, 41-37 in the second half to put them up almost, by 20 points. They won this game by 17 points. So pretty good win.
Yeah. I mean, Iowa State. Iowa State is the type of team that I think when they play this way, I mean, they're tough to beat. Still got their bench has been an issue for them down the stretch here in the last couple of games. But Milan Momklavic, if I pronounced that wrong, I am sorry. He did step up big time here for Iowa State. Had 17 points. He was 5-10 from the field, 3 for 4 from the free throw line. Jaden Bradley for Arizona had 18 points. He was 6 for 14. I'm not really sure what Caleb Love did in this game, but usually when Caleb Love's not the leading stat getter,
what happens.
Arizona doesn't win. Arizona has been very up and down lately. There's stretches they've been, you're like, wow, they could be a team to watch. And then there's times it's like, I don't even know if they need to make the tournament. But Arizona's going to be one of them teams you'll probably look at around an 8 seed for them come March, depending on what they do in the Big 12 tournament. They make a run at their ceiling is probably a 5 if they end up winning the Big 12, I would say. But definitely around an 8 seed, probably where you're going to see them. Iowa State, they're battling really hard for that 2-3 seed right now, I would say. Worst would probably be a 4, but I would say you look at Iowa State.
3.
I'm going to say a 3 for them, but I mean, they win the Big 12, and depending on what else happens the rest of the week, could benefit them. But yeah, a 3 is probably a good spot for them. This next game, though, we're going to talk about.
This was the other one, yeah. This was a great game.
This one actually kind of surprised me a little bit. This was Missouri traveling to Vandy. Granted, Vandy's had been a tough place to play this year for any SEC school, but Missouri's just been playing really, really good basketball of late, and just came up a little short in this one. They ended up losing this game 97-93 after having a 38-29 lead at half. Defense fell off, the second half, and that's just really shocking for Missouri. They got 52 points in the second half, and then overtime, it was just like they were gassed in that overtime. They just couldn't make the shots they needed down the stretch there. Vandy, you got them like maybe a sleeper here to make
it's their third win in a row.
Going into the SEC tournament, it's kind of
that's a team I don't want to play.
Yeah,
third win in a row. They just beat a stout Missouri team. Caleb Grill. Y'all have heard us talk about him a lot this year. He had 28 points, 9 of 19 shooting, perfect 100% from the free throw line. Then Chris Mannon for Vandy had 23 points, 8 of 13 shooting. Even with Caleb Grill, when he puts up numbers like that, they usually don't lose.
Yeah.
But this game comes down to defense, as I said. You cannot let a team outscore you 52-43 in the second half.
Yeah.
You got to get some stops. You got to get some type of turnovers, some type of momentum back. But Vandy's a tough place to play. And we're looking at these squads. This is kind of what we've talked about all year. Vandy's now 20-9. Missouri dropped to 21-8. Missouri's 14th. Vandy's not ranked.
Yeah.
and we're talking a game difference, and they both play pretty much the same schedule.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Vandy's a team that now I'm circling them. Probably shouldn't, but that's a team in SEC tourney play that I do not want to play.
If you're a Commodores fan, don't book tickets long for the SEC tournament. They've been circled.
They've been circled. They'll be out first round probably. It's how it goes, guys. How it goes. Big one here. Next one up here. St. John's. We've been very high on St. John's all year. Got a great coach with Patino. I saw a stat. He is the first coach to win a division in multiple divisions. I can't remember all the schools right off the top. I know
Louisville, Kentucky, St. Bonaventure, Iona, and now St. John's.
Thank you. Do you have that just off the dome?
I've seen it yesterday and I remembered it.
Gotcha. Okay, well, I saw a stat. Yeah, he won most divisions. That's pretty impressive stat resume.
Yeah.
Honestly, it tells you how good of a coach he is.
I'm glad you brought that up. They did win this game 71-61, and that did clinch the Big East for St. John's. The last time St. John's won the Big East outright, the number one movie in America was Beverly Hills Cop.
Wow, nice.
Okay. Number one song was Careless Whisper. The eggs were 80 cents a dozen.
Hey, not to brag. I bought a 6-pack yesterday of eggs.
Yeah.
Not bragging or anything, but I bought a 6-pack.
Nice.
$3.79.
Woof. But yes, eggs were 80 cents a dozen then. Microsoft Windows did not exist. The Simpsons had yet to debut on TV. WrestleMania 1 had not even happened. This is just crazy that it took that St. John's. It's been this long since they've won a Big East, but I mean, it just goes in bode here for Rick Pitino. I mean, what he's done with this program and everything. And I watched the interview with Rick Pitino just because we're talking about him here. They asked him about the Indiana job, and they asked him if anybody had contacted him about Indiana, and he said no, he's happy where he's at. But they said if you could pick one coach that you would want to see go to Indiana, if you was the guy picking it, who would it be? He said, hands down, there's only one guy that needs to take this job, and it's Chris Beard. That's what Rick Pitino said. He said Chris Beard is the best coach in college basketball, and he goes to Indiana. He said he will put him on the map. He said that when he was out for his suspension for the stuff that happened at Louisville, Chris Beard called him, said, I never met the dude, called him come down to speak to his Texas Tech team. And he said the big thing that he watches Rick Pitino he said he don't really care about the game. He goes, the game happens. That's all on the players. But he said, I watched the practice, and he goes, there's not a coach that handles practice better than Chris Beard. And he says, if Indiana is smart, that's who they'll sign. So if you're a Hoosiers fan,
that'd be a good hire.
If you're an Ole Miss fan, hold your breath. If you're an Indiana person, you're wanting that hire. That would be huge.
Yeah, Chris Beard would be great. I'd love to see Indiana back on the map.
Yeah, it would be great. They need to be.
Got to get those pants back out there.
Yes.
I love those pants, man. Those warm-up pants are red and white.
Yeah, I mean, back to St. John's. I mean, before we wrap this one up with them, they a legit title contender?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, they're 7th. I put them up there. This team's tough. 26-4. They've had some great wins this year against some ranked opponents. Mm-hmm. I mean, Seton Hall, this is a way, way, way down year for Seton Hall. I mean, they've only won 7 games this year, so they're way down from what we're used to out of Seton Hall.
Yeah.
But R.J. Lewis, we've talked about him. He's their big player. He had 21 points, 7 of 13 shooting. I think lean on him. You got a great coach. You got a coach that's got experience. He's been here. He knows what he's doing. St. John's, usually a pretty tough little squad.
Yeah.
But like you said, they haven't won the division in, 30 years, I guess?
Yeah,
30
probably.
Years.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Watch out. I think this team it means a little bit more. It means a little bit more to this younger.
They're built for March.
Smaller squad. Let's put it that way. Smaller school, smaller squad.
Yeah. They're built for March, though. They're really
they're defensive team. I mean, I don't know what the high scoring against them, but I say they're top 5 in defense probably.
Yeah, they're really good. The other big game we had this weekend, I feel like this has been the exact instruction manual on Texas A&M this year.
Yep.
They ended up traveling to Florida, ended up losing by 19. They lost 89-70. At half, they were down, 11 points at half, 45-34. Just couldn't really overcome that halftime deficit. Kind of was a copy and paste for the second half. A&M, it's, to me, it looks like they can beat the teams they're supposed to beat, but the teams, it's like, hey, we got to get a little bit more out of ourselves is when they struggle. And I'm not too high on A&M. I know they've been ranked 12th. I know they've only got 9 losses. I feel like they're definitely probably a Sweet 16 team. But when you start getting into those tougher matchups in that round of 16, that's where I think you're going to see A&M struggle. Granted, I say this, and they may go ahead and win the SEC tournament. So Buzz Williams is a great coach. Florida, we said it. You got to be prepared for a track meet when you play Florida.
Mm-hmm.
If you can't slow them down, you got to be prepared to run with them. Man, this game right here, just looking at stat lines, you could tell that this was just a up and down type game for Florida.
Yep. Cannot let them do that. If Florida controls the tempo and they're hitting their 3-pointers, they play a lot like Kentucky. If they get hot, I mean, Florida's another team that will probably top 3 offense in America. Will Richard led them this time with 25 points, 9 of 13 shooting. I don't know how Clayton played, but
Will Clayton Jr.
Walter. Zareek Phelps, he's Texas A&M's hot man. He had 16 points, 4 of 10 shooting. This has been Texas A&M's memo pretty much all year. They win some big games and they lose some big games. It's just very streaky. They'll go on a hot streak, win 2 ranked matches. The next week, lose 2 ranked matches. So you just don't know what you're going to get. They're 20-9. Remember, I just said Vandy is 20-9. So that tells you that the SEC is pretty stacked. Again, Texas A&M's ranked, Vandy's not. I think that's a little bit disgrace. I think Vandy should be ranked coming into this week, which I think they will be.
Mm-hmm.
Texas A&M's a top 20 squad, but I put them about 18th. I think that's where they need to be, in my opinion, just right now. So, I'm not circling Texas A&M, but that's a team that they have the potential to make a run.
I got them as like a 3 seed going into March right now. I think that's where they'll be at worst a 5, but definitely I think a 3 is where they'll be at. I mean,
how you feel about Florida? And Florida's one of those schools that if they
get now this week, Florida is a national championship contender.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens, especially in the SEC tournament. That's the big thing with them, the way they run their offense. When you start playing game after game after game after game, you don't have that much time in between. How's the fatigue going to set in? How's the legs going to be feeling? That's my concern with Florida, and I feel like that's kind of been their MO this year. We'll watch them drop the hammer and score 190 to 100 points in a couple games in a row, and then they go out and go to Georgia and drop 57.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I want to see the longevity. And speaking of longevity, a team right now that just seems like they're just clicking on all cylinders is this Duke Blue Devils team.
Yep.
Played Florida State this week at Cameron Indoor.
Wasn't even a game.
Won a game at all. End up winning 100-65. Poor Florida State.
How many games that make for Duke now in the hundreds? They just scored 100. What, last week or
at least 4?
I guess last week when we had our correspondent Jacob Compton when he went to the Illinois game, they scored 100.
Yep, at least 4 games that I know of. So, yeah, I mean, Duke's they're just clicking on all cylinders.
There's only a couple teams that can do that. Florida can do that. Duke can do that. Bama can do that. Kentucky used to be able to do that.
Yeah.
Not so much anymore.
Duke's got a big matchup coming up. I mean, the last game of the season, we know what it is. That game against North Carolina. And North Carolina is one of the hottest teams in the country right now.
They still hot?
Yep, they're still hot. They still got them right now. Last I looked, Lenardi's got them as the last 4 in the tournament.
Is that game at Duke or at UNC?
That will be at UNC.
At UNC last game.
So I think the last time was at Duke. I could be wrong. I haven't looked, but should be at.
Or don't worry, our Dukies will come after us.
Yes, I'm pretty sure it's at UNC. You know what? I'll check just to make sure.
Yeah, just double check that so they can't come after us. While he's doing that, Isaiah Evans did lead Duke again. This is a multiple scoring team.
At Carolina.
At Carolina. 19 points for him, 6 of 17 shooting, very horrid shooting numbers. Jameer Watkins for Florida State had 21, 8 of 18 shooting, but again, they lost by, 35? Yeah. Rough day for Florida State. Florida State's just not had the best year of sports this year.
No, not at all. It's been a rough time. I mean, the only thing they're holding their hat on right now is baseball.
Baseball, yeah.
Yeah, but I hate seeing Florida State down this way, especially hate it with their coach leaving. I mean, just not what we expect out of Florida State. We expect them to be a ranked opponent every year in basketball. Just
tough team,
they're down.
Yeah.
But, hey, every team goes through this at some point. One point or another is just how you overcome it. So we'll see what Florida State does.
Looking at this Duke team, they haven't really played anybody since that Clemson game. If you're a Duke fan, are you a little bit nervous about that? Because, I mean, you're beating the brakes off these teams. Do you want some challenges, like some close games, like where you have to figure out a way to win, or do you want a 35-point win against a ACC opponent?
If I'm a Duke fan, so I'm putting my feet in Duke fans' shoes,
I'm putting his shoes in Dookie.
We're the best team in the country. There ain't no doubt about it. We're beating these teams exactly how we're supposed to be beating them. This is what I expect out of Duke basketball. This is better than it ever was when we had Coach K.
I'm just saying.
This is the greatest team ever.
Not much
Yeah.
adversity here. So what I'm getting at is, they're 26 and
You
3.
said speaking as Spartans, you saying as a Duke fan. Now, if I'm going to speak as a unbiased person, I can get the concern there a little bit. Like, okay, we haven't really had to play any competition. ACC tournament's going
I'm
to be
saying
the place.
preparing for that March Madness tourney. Would you rather have some close games that Duke found a way to win? Because they're going to run into that in the tourney. That's what always scares me with Duke. When Duke's really good like this, that's usually when we see the choke. Just being honest, from previously being a diehard Duke fan, when Duke is that good, they usually have a Duke moment in the tourney.
So you're predicting a Lehigh type upset here.
I'm not saying it's going to happen. I need to see how the first round matchups are going. I mean, I'm still probably going to have Duke in my bracket going pretty much Final Four, just because I do think they have the capability to do that. But I'm just saying, from past experiences, when Duke is this, like, look at the Zion Williamson season.
Yeah.
That team was world beaters.
Yeah.
And I don't what they make it to Sweet 16.
I think so. Yeah.
A round of 32, something. I mean, it was terrible.
I think I don't know. I look at it. I've been high on Duke all year, even in the beginning, even with Cooper Flag. There's not many teams out there I think that can even compete with them.
Well, I'm gonna say this: as a Tennessee fan, looking at Duke, if I was a Duke fan, I would rather Duke have a game like they just had against Alabama, something like that comes down to like the final shots, because they've only had that really twice this year, maybe.
I just think right now we're looking at an Auburn Duke national championship.
That's the best two teams. I give you that.
I think that's what I mean. I just feel like,
but we know that's probably not going to happen. Let's just be honest.
I think it's going to.
I mean, we'll all put them in our brackets. Every single one of us that watch sports will have Duke and Auburn right there, and I guarantee you it won't be that.
I don't know. I feel like them two programs are pretty solid all the way around.
Yeah, I'm not denying it, but it's March Madness.
It is, and I mean that's why we call it madness. But I was just curious. Now, Duke fans, don't come at me.
If there's two, I was just asking. What Hess's thoughts were on that, and as a Duke fan, let us know. Like, would you rather Duke have like another game like against Clemson, but they find a way to win? I'm not saying that they lose, but they still find a way to win. Would you rather have that, or would you rather have this absolute beatdown?
I think I would rather have this, because I would rather beat a 16 and at the time 16.
Well, I'm not saying against Florida State. I'm saying that, let's say Duke's playing a ranked opponent.
Yeah.
And a tight game is what I'm getting at.
I mean,
figure out how to close out a tight game. Like Tennessee, honestly, shouldn't have beat Alabama.
I don't know if Duke even needs. I don't know if there's a team out there other than Auburn that can
get that close. Yeah, that's true.
That's
a valid point.
But I mean, I don't know. We'll see. I mean, I get where you're coming from.
I'm just worrying, if that'll hurt them. That's all I'm saying. Like, what I'm getting at is you don't want Duke to become cocky and be like, we're the best there ever is. It is. And I think Shire's got them under control. Yeah. But I'm just saying, I don't want Duke rolling into that first game being like, we're Duke.
We're Duke, baby.
And then they lose by 10 or 15 or something. Something crazy like that.
Yeah.
I don't want that to happen. I want it to be Duke down to the Final Four or whatever, just because I want good basketball.
Right.
But, Duke fans, let us know your thoughts, man. I'm just curious on that. Didn't mean to go off on a little segment there. I wouldn't say tangent, but a segment on Duke basketball. But we got a lot of Duke listeners, so thought it was a good opportunity to see your thoughts on that.
Yeah.
I'll let you run this next one here.
Next one, we had one of the biggest games of the season here. Auburn traveled to Rupp Arena to play the Kentucky Wildcats, and if I'm a Kentucky fan, I was leaving early and stopping at a local bourbon store on the way out. Auburn ended up winning this one 94-78. Kentucky has just been a real disappointment over the last 2 weeks, to be honest. This team has a potential to beat anybody, but right now they're beating themselves more than they are beating other teams they're playing. They were down 49-34 at half, and honestly, that was just way too much to overcome for them. Ended up giving up another 45 points in the second half. Lost the game 94-78, like I previously mentioned. Your boy, Barea, he had 21 points, 7. I'm pretty sure he made all threes. Pretty sure that was 7 threes he made in that game.
Probably.
Then Miles Kelly for Auburn. Big game for him. Dropped 30 points. He was 10 for 17 from the field. 1 for 1 free throw line. Again, just Auburn just is able to do it wherever they need to do it. They need to do it on the defensive side. They got it. They need to do it on the offensive side. They can do it. This is expected. Kentucky's a tough place to play.
It is.
And they went in there and made it like a home court. Like they didn't phase them at all. Kentucky, if I'm a fan, I'm worried about the rest of the season.
Yeah.
What could have been is going to be part of the big
Woulda,
thing.
coulda, shoulda. Yep.
But Auburn just asserting dominance right now.
One fun fact about this Auburn game: this is the first time they have won in Rupp Arena since 1988.
Yep.
And Bruce Pearl was already preparing his press conference after the game to be like, "Well, it's Rupp. What do you expect?"
Yeah.
So I thought that was pretty funny how he said that. Also, too, shout out to Bruce Pearl. No free shout outs, but he did say VFL and War Damn Eagle. For the Auburn Eagles. So he said that on his Twitter. VFL, shout out to Bruce. We miss you, buddy. But happy for him. And, of course, they're happy because of VFL because that just clinched them the first place in the SEC regular season. So, yeah, big win for Auburn. Big win for Auburn. And if I'm a Kentucky fan, definitely nervous about the future.
Yeah, absolutely. Kentucky, I look at them as being a first or second round team exit in the SEC tournament. Like I don't even think they make a big run.
I'm gonna go on a limb here and say first round out again. Be what, third time in 4 years?
I was talking the SEC tournament. I don't think they make.
I'm saying March Madness.
Yeah. Before we move on to games coming up, I did want to elaborate on my Dogs. They ended up beating the crap out of Kentucky last night, 83-67. Two big wins in a row there for Georgia. They beat Florida, and then they beat Texas. Right now, Georgia's back in March. We're back in the tourney right now as far as what Joe Lunardi's saying. Georgia's got some big games coming up. These next two, they're probably must-wins, and they're going to have to probably make it to the second round of the SEC tournament to make it. Looking ahead, do you think that the SEC does get the 13 teams that we were talking about a couple of weeks ago?
No.
Okay. How many are you thinking?
I'm gonna say they do break the record. I think they get 12. But I don't think it'll be 13.
If they got 12 teams in right now, that would be Auburn, Florida, Alabama, Tennessee, Missouri, Ole Miss, Texas A&M, Mississippi State, Vandy, Kentucky, Georgia, and Arkansas. Leaving out Texas, Oklahoma, LSU, and South Carolina.
They might get Texas.
Texas is 16-13 right now in the season.
Nah.
5-11 in SEC play. Georgia is 18-11 and 6-10 in SEC play.
SEC play's been killing these teams.
Yeah, SEC has been killing it.
Tough.
I'm gonna go on a limb and just
I might say 11 actually. I don't know.
Get 11.
What's Arkansas?
17-12 and 6-10 overall. Same as Georgia.
Okay, so I guess I'm gonna leave it. I'm gonna leave it 12.
To me, those bottom teams, Kentucky, Georgia, Arkansas, they need to at least make it to the second or third round of the SEC tournament, probably to make the big tournament.
Yeah, I'm gonna say 12. That's my number.
Okay, I like it. One more team I want to talk about. I feel like before we move on, Ming, you kind of wrote them off and was like making fun of them, saying all their money's going to football. But the 12th ranked team in the country is Ohio State. They came out of absolute nowhere.
In basketball?
Yeah, they're ranked 12th in the country. They've won their last 13 games.
Oh, of course.
They're one of the hottest teams in the country.
Of course. God, wow.
Let me look at the standings real fast here.
I didn't realize they were 12th. What the heck?
Yep, they're up to man, I'm wrong. I thought I seen them ranked. Man, that was a girls' team.
I was about to say, I don't remember Ohio State being there.
Oh, they're not. I don't know where I seen that from.
Hey, it's all right.
My bad, but I do know they're hot.
That's funny.
They're 8-10 in Big 12 play. They're 16-13 overall. Right now,
back over 500. Okay,
Joe Lunardi's got them in the tournament right now.
Wow, you got to watch out. You got to watch out for those schools, guys.
Big 10 right now has got 10 teams.
That's in. So how many's ACC got? 2, 3,
3 or 4.
Louisville, Clemson, Duke,
North Carolina
if they stay hot.
Yep. But looking ahead, we got some big games this week. What do we got?
Oh, you asking me?
Yeah,
me. Yeah, man, I'm over here. Yep. On 3/5. So what day is this? Wednesday?
Yeah.
Wednesday night at 7 p.m. We got Florida traveling to Alabama. It should be a very big game.
Alabama.
Home game for Alabama. I think that'll be a huge advantage. Alabama right now on the matchup predictor has a 62% chance to win. We just saw what Florida did. I think this will be a very, very high scoring game. Look for the score to be 90s to 100s.
Oh, yeah.
Guarantee it. Both teams can shoot the lights out. Honestly, it's going to come down to who can hit the most three-pointers.
Give me Bama in this one. Roll Tide.
I think Bama bounces back. Bama's tough.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. Florida's a tough squad. Don't get me wrong, but Bama is tough.
Yeah. Give me Bama in this one.
I liked what they did on the defensive side against Tennessee. They showed they could play defense as well. I'm going to go Bama as well.
Yeah.
Out of these two guys, both these guys are NBA bound. Walter Clayton Jr., Mark Sears. Who thinks will have a better game out of those two?
Sears.
I
think we'll see another 30 out of Sears in this one.
I'd say you're right. Sears has been shooting the ball really hot. He shot really, really good against Tennessee. I like that take.
Yep. This next one, we got the M&M game here. We got Maryland traveling to Michigan same day. This is Wednesday at 6:30. It's on the Big Ten Network, guys. This is a big game. Maryland's been a sneaky team this year.
Mm-hmm.
They end up losing last week on a buzzer beater. Michigan State end up hitting like a half-court money shot. Maryland's a really good basketball program. Michigan's been playing good. They've had some ups and downs the last couple of weeks. Analytics are saying right now it's almost a 50-50 split, but leaning toward 53% with Michigan. Kind of high on the Terps. I think they're a team that not a lot of people are talking about. Derek Queen, he's averaging 15.9 points a game. He's shooting 53% from the field, so that's pretty impressive. 76% from the free throw line. So he's their big guy down low. They're feeding him. They're really big on the inside-outside. Feed it down low, pop a three.
Outside.
Yeah. Oh, Vladislav Golden.
Yeah, the Russian 7-footer.
Yep, the 7-footer here from Michigan. I think this is going to be a really good game. I think this will be one of your best games of the week. I think that Florida-Alabama game will be a good one, but I really think this will be the one that gets a lot of attention. I think you're looking at probably like a 3 to 5 point game in this one. I think this will be a really close one.
I'm going to say bigger spread than that, and I think honestly we see the Terrapins go up there and get a win.
Oh, boy, I like it.
8-point win.
Man, I remember Maryland won the national championship in like 2003.
Who was on that team? Anybody big?
Let me look. I might be wrong on that year, but I remember because Miss Clevenger, my English teacher, had a Maryland Terrapins national championship.
And he was like, "What the heck are you wearing?"
Yeah.
When has Maryland ever won a national championship? Wow, that's crazy.
Maryland championship 2002.
2002. Okay.
They won 62-54 over Indiana.
Back when Indiana was good too.
Yeah, let's see. Let me look at this team. See if I can figure out who was on this team. See if there's anybody big on it. All right, scroll down.
Yeah, I was just curious if there's any players that came out of that.
There's a lot here. Let's see. Maryland Terrapins. They had Byron Mutton, Julian Dixon, Earl Badu, Gavin McCall, Andre Collins, Drew Nichols, Mike Grennan, Steve Blake. He's a pretty good little point guard. Played for the Lakers a little bit. Ryan Randall, Lonnie Baxter, Tajay Holden, Chris Wilcox. He played a little bit in the NBA. And then the head coach is Gary Williams. Assistant coaches on that team were Dave Dickerson, Jimmy Pastos, Matt Kovark, and Troy Wainwright.
That would have been in the prime time for like early 2000s NBA draft stock.
Yeah, Steve Blake played for Oak Hill in Virginia, so he was on the same team with Carmelo Anthony.
Okay, that's awesome.
Yeah,
so Maryland. What was Maryland? Do you have the ranking? What were they ranked that year? Or what they end up going? Let me ask that.
Let's see. It's the whole timeline video here. Holy crap.
Buddy, let's just watch a video. Pull up a video for our viewers. Hey guys, we're going to watch the 2002 National Championship Maryland Terriers.
They beat Kentucky in the semifinal 78-68. Then they beat UConn 90-82 in the regional final. And then in the Final Four, they played Kansas, and they won 97-88. And then they beat Indiana 64-52 in the national championship.
That's a tough run right there.
Let me see if I can find their season schedule here. 32-4 on the season. 15-1 in the ACC, winning the conference regular season.
They were dominant.
They beating 5 former national championship teams consecutively. They beat Wisconsin, Kentucky, Connecticut, Kansas, and Indiana consecutively. That was your last 5 champions.
God.
The Terps were also played the best seed possible in their first 5 games up until they played number 5 seed Indiana for the title game.
Insane.
Yep. So they were Juwan Dixon averaged 20 points a game, was 40% from the 3-point, was the most outstanding player in the national title, anchored that score by 85 points per game. They scored 85 points per game in the tournament.
Jeez.
The number 5 mark in the country. After a lopsided 90-78 loss to Duke, they went on to a 19-1 run over the next 20-game stretch and ended with a 64-52 victory over Indiana.
Are you saying that we could have another Maryland run like this?
I mean, they might need Steve Blake and old Juwan Dixon to get out there. But, yeah, I mean, Maryland,
Nobody's talking about them.
Nobody's talking about them.
That's the best place to be.
Yep. They're hot right now.
Yeah, I'm going Maryland. I'm picking Maryland now.
Another game I'll add, looking out at Duke, North Carolina game on Saturday.
Yeah.
Look out for that one. That'll be a good one to tune into. But, hey, we had some baseball over the week.
Had some baseball.
You had a fun fact about Tennessee, and I want to ask a question about
I'll go straight to that Tennessee game since we're going to do that one first. Okay. Tennessee did end up winning Friday. This was kind of their first big match that they had against Oklahoma State, 5-2 in the Astros Foundation Classic. And, of course, I think they're playing – either they played today already or getting ready to play, something like that. But fun fact about Tennessee for the Friday and Saturday games, Gavin Killen, second baseman for the University of Tennessee, hit 6 home runs in 12 at-bats in 2 games. 6 home runs. Anybody that talks about Tennessee being a porch walk outfield, he's hitting this out in major league stadiums. And they were bombs. Some of them were upper deck. I mean, gone. Seeing a lot of stats too. A lot of people talk about now. No disrespect to the 2024 national champions. Now this is a little bit early in my book as a Tennessee fan, but I have seen some Tennessee fans say this team is better than the 2024 national champions. What's your take on that? They said they're better.
I don't know.
It's early.
That 2024 team, man,
it was special.
Had some bats.
2022 team was special.
But I will say, I think this Tennessee team's a lot deeper into the bullpen this year. But we'll see. I'll say the jury's still out to see. Just because you were mentioning today's games, it is Sunday right now. We do have some upsets brewing in college baseball. In the top of the 6th right now, Miami is up 8-4 over Florida. Florida Gulf Coast is up 3-0 on Georgia in the bottom of the 6th. Got a close game in Arkansas right now. Arkansas is up 2-1 on Charlotte. Arkansas has only lost 1 game. Virginia is laying a whooping on Dartmouth. It's 11-3 right now in the bottom of the 8th. I
saw Virginia drop to 10th. Are they still 10th?
Yes, they're still 10th. Kansas is a team to watch out for right now. They're unranked, but they're 9-1, and they've been beating the brakes off pretty much everybody they've been playing.
Maybe they're turning into a baseball college.
Notre Dame is tied with Belmont right now, 1-1, the bottom of the 7th. They're 7-1 on the season. Notre Dame, that is. Texas is tied with Illinois, 1-1 at the bottom of the 3rd.
Wow.
And then later on this evening, we do have Southern Miss playing TCU. It's a ranked matchup right now. It's 3-0, bottom 3.
3-0 who? TCU?
Southern Miss. They're up.
Southern Miss.
Yep, 22, ranked 22nd, Southern Miss. TCU's ranked 25th.
Gotcha.
See if there's any other big games later on tonight. Alabama's up 7-1 right now in their game. Looking down here, Florida State ended up winning today 4-3 over Georgetown to improve to 11-0. And Tennessee beat Arizona today 5-1.
Nice. Went undefeated then in the Astros.
They're 11-0, and we did have an upset. Princeton beat Wake Forest 7-6. That was an upset we had today.
That's a big upset.
Yeah, college baseball's in full swing right now. A couple other games here. You mentioned Tennessee beat Oklahoma State 5-2. LSU ended up winning in 10 innings against Kansas State. Kansas State is actually playing right now. They're in a tight one with
good little squad.
I've seen it here. Lost it.
This is in the Frisco College Baseball Classic.
I just went final, so I missed that one. They were in a tight one with somebody. I think it was Arizona they were playing. Another big game here, Arkansas, Charlotte. That game I mentioned that right now, they're down. They're up 2-1, but they ended up beating Charlotte Saturday. I think this is Saturday, 11-10. Georgia.
One game on there, I just don't want us to forget. Texas A&M did go down. Number 1 squad went down to Arizona 3-2 on Friday.
Yep, that was a big win for Arizona there. Georgia almost lost to Florida Gulf Coast, and like I said, they are down right now 3-0.
Shoo.
Georgia ended up winning 10-9 in that game. Duke ended up winning 14-5 over Northwestern. Dallas Baptist that upset. We've been high on them. Oral Roberts, but that Oral Roberts was the team that we talked about going to the field of 64, so watch out for them. Your boys, the Santa Barbara, UC Santa Barbara, beat Fresno State 3-1. And then pretty much everything else went like you would think it would go. Virginia Tech, your Hokies ended up beating Indiana State 10-2. Indiana State made it to the tourney last year, so that was a big win for them in the Keith LeClaire Classic. Texas A&M lost 2 games.
Yep, and also Oklahoma State as well.
Yep, lost Oklahoma State 4-0.
Laid a goose egg.
Tennessee ended up beating Rice 13-3. Rice is down, and I have to say I am very disappointed in Rice's fan base. That is one of the perennial baseball programs out there, and they probably had like 6 fans in the crowd for that game. They were talking about that.
And
so if you're
right
a Rice
in their
fan,
back door. Yeah,
get out there, support your team. It's a great program. Any other games on here?
A team I think that's really good in the ACC. I think they're proving it right now is UNC.
Yeah, UNC, they're good. Florida State's really good in the ACC.
Yeah, which I picked. I think I ended up picking Florida State, right?
Yeah,
you
did.
Georgia, y'all
Wake
had a hot start yesterday. I mean, y'all won 10-0, 9-8.
Yeah,
that's crazy. Same team. They played Florida Gulf Coast final and 7, beat them 10-0. Played a doubleheader, beat them 9-8 and 10.
And then Friday night.
So what happened there? Did y'all pitch your best pitcher in game 1?
Well,
I guess.
I think Friday night we beat them 10-9, and then we played the double yesterday.
Chew.
And won 10-0 the first one, then 9-8, and now we're down 3-0 to them today.
That's crazy. That's just baseball.
That's baseball. That's textbook baseball right there.
100%.
Before we get to look ahead to baseball, again, guys, college baseball, there's a lot, so it's a lot to really dive into.
We just try to touch on what we can, guys. It's very early in the season, too. When it gets to Omaha, of course, we'll dive in a lot deeper.
And conference play, we'll be able to follow a lot better come conference.
It's a lot easier.
Time.
We don't get these stats either, guys. In case y'all don't know, when Hess and I go to like review stats and stuff, it's hard to get it.
Baseball's really hard. There's so many, and there's not a lot of reporting on college baseball, especially this early. Mm-hmm. So it is kind of hard. Before we go ahead to college baseball, MLB started off. Had some spring training.
Getting ready to kick off the season, baby.
I wanted to ask your opinion. They're doing the where they can review balls and strikes.
Mm-hmm.
What's your thoughts on that?
Now is it unlimited? I don't think it's unlimited, right?
2 per game.
2 per game. Okay.
Yep.
I'm fine with that. I think the hind catcher knows better than the umpire, and no offense to the umpire, I just think they have the feel and they do it daily, all the time.
Just to review that, guys.
For example, first pitch of the game in spring training, it was yesterday for my New York Yankees. Ben Rice actually caught the ball and he challenged the first pitch, and they called it a ball. It was a strike. So stuff like that, I think it's good. I think that's okay. We still want the sped up game. We still want the pitch clock. I love the pitch clock myself. I think it's a great rule. I think it definitely improved the speed of the game. One thing I worry about though is moving to this. I think they're still starting to want to transition to the technology behind the hind catcher to where it automatically calls balls and strikes and you lose the ump. I don't want to see anybody lose their job. So I hope we still get to keep the umpires moving forward.
I mean, I love this, but I'm a traditionalist, and I like what Justin Verlander said. I mean, I know he's an old head out there. I would rather a human judge me than a robot. But so, I mean, that's what makes baseball so great. But
you need some air.
There was one call there. The ump called it a ball. The catcher or the pitcher asked for a review, and it was actually a strike by 1/1000th of an inch. It literally clipped the strike zone. We can see my golf ball here. It literally clipped it by 1,000th of an inch. So it got reversed to a strike call, and it was strike 3 on the batter. I just don't want to see it become a point to where the umpires are questioning themselves.
Right. That's a tough job.
It is. Very tough job.
I mean, only a select less than probably 1% of people can do that.
Yeah. But I do like it. I think it's a great little tool. It's going to be interesting, especially when we get into
I think it's fine. Two challenges per game. That's plenty.
Yeah.
Because it could be a crucial call, like 9th inning, 2 outs, and the high catcher gets the call right, the game over. Stuff like that.
That could be a World Series.
Yeah. Seriously.
I mean, think about how many times have you seen
a bad call in the World Series. Yep.
And then the next bat's a home run. The next pitch is a home run.
Freddie Freeman, for example. My God.
Yeah. Right now, the odds right now, guys, if you're a Major League Baseball fan, Dodgers are 6-1 to win the World Series. Braves 7-1. Yankees 8-1. Phillies 8-1 as well. And then the Mets are 9-1 behind the Phillies. Is the Dodgers the favorite?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, without a doubt.
All right.
Look how much money they spent. I mean, without a doubt. If they don't win it, they've lost money. Each
Yeah.
year they don't win, they lose money.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, baseball's gonna be fun. I'm excited about this year. Plan on going to a couple major league games, see what happens. We'll be going to Colorado. We'll touch base
Next
more
month.
on that. Yeah, we'll
Month
touch
away.
base on that one.
Everybody pray for Hess's flight.
Yeah.
Good
By the
news
way-
is, Hess, planes have that happen all the time. The media just wasn't picking it up as much.
Yeah, and I did get some statistics on some flight stuff from some of my friends.
You're good, man. You're good.
The United States has the number one rated deaths with 760 all time in flights. The next best country was Russia at 304. And there's also a movie out there I need to watch too, apparently, about a plane disappearing. So I'm really looking forward to my first flight. So
You'll
that'll
be
fun.
fine.
But guys,
Just when it takes off, don't freak out.
I ain't going to. We'll be all right.
It's pretty fun.
But looking ahead, guys, we do have some big matchups. We have a big matchup in the state of Mississippi this week. This is at 5 o'clock. I think this is on Wednesday, if I'm not mistaken. Tuesday. Southern Miss will travel to Mississippi State, one of the greatest ballparks in the entire country. Excited to see this one. Who you got in this one?
Yeah, it's going to be a tough match. I like Southern Miss.
I do too.
Honestly, I think they're a solid team. You said they was just winning a minute ago. Against a ranked opponent, I think Southern Miss is a baseball squad.
Yeah, I agree with that. I like Southern Miss. I mean, they're not all about Brett Favre down there. They do have some baseball in their blood. But give me Mississippi State in this one. I think the cowbells will be ringing. This is a late evening game. Kids will be out of class. Could be a fun one. What's the other matchup we got?
Yeah, you got Oklahoma, who's also undefeated right now, 10-0, playing Dallas Baptist. I'm very excited about this match. Hopefully I can get this one. This one's on ESPN Plus, so I should be able to watch this one.
Yep.
Hopefully I don't got too much going on Tuesday night at 7 p.m. If I do, I'll put it on my phone.
Yeah.
Give me Dallas Baptist. I love Dallas Baptist.
Yep.
Do I think they'll actually win? Probably not. But I'm cheering for them. Go Dallas Baptist.
Give me DBU in this one. One-run game. You're going to win it.
I think it'll be tight. I think it will be a close game.
Give Oklahoma their first loss of the season.
Oklahoma's tough. They're looking pretty good.
All right.
Very good pitching squad.
We're reaching the end of this episode. Any closing thoughts you got, Castle?
Yeah, just a couple things here. You know, Hess and I love golf, obviously. If you see back in Hess's corner right there, you can see his clubs. Before this started, I didn't have my clubs behind me, and I was like, Hess, you know what? You got your clubs behind you. I'm going to throw mine behind me. So we put our clubs out there. We're itching to get out on the green. So you had the Cognizant Classic. It's going on right now in the Palm Beaches of Florida. My question to you is, who you taking? Right now, Knapp is still leading at 16 under or 17 under. Hang on. I'll pull back the scoreboard here. I think 17 or 16. He's got the solo lead. This is the guy who shot a 59 on Thursday. Oh, Henley and Knapp are tied 17 under. Henley has made a run.
Henley has made a run. Henley's been playing good all
Spieth
weekend.
has also made a run. He's back up to 7th. He's 14 under.
Ooh.
I was, of course, cheering for Ricky Fowler. He pulled a Ricky Fowler on me, and he is not on the top leaderboard. So,
yeah. Mine switched over to women's golf for some reason. So,
I had to switch channel just a second ago. They switched over.
Okay, well, yeah. We also got a NASCAR race today. We got big race at COTA in Texas on the road course at Circuit of Americas. Starting on the pole, we have Tyler Reddick, Bubba Wallace starting second. This is a sweep for the front row for 23-11. Starting third is Chase Elliott. Starting fourth has been the guy who has been all over social media this week after his rough, aggressive racing last week. Carson Hocevar starting fourth. He didn't make shirts because he said that we're not out here to be a boy band. We're out here to win races, so he's not going to change how he races no matter what somebody says. So he did make shirts to say, do you want to join my boy band?
Nice.
I'm pulling for Hocevar today. Another big one here, Shane Van Gisbergen. He is a dominance on the road courses. It's in his wheelhouse. Kyle Busch, who's done really good at COTA in years past, starting 8th. Another guy I want to talk about here is making his Cup debut, Connor Zilisch, 19 years old.
Wow.
The next big driver. He is sponsored by Red Bull in this game in the 87 car for Trackhouse. He did win the Xfinity race yesterday, started on the pole, led pretty much every lap. Look for Connor Zilisch to make a run today.
Splash?
He is the favorite. The betting odds got him as the favorite to win. Actually, really? Shane Van Gisbergen is the favorite at 6-1, and then Zilisch is second, 7-1. Just looking down the list here, if there's anybody else, Ryan Blaney start 25th. That would be one to watch.
Where's Byron starting?
William Byron is starting in 15th, right behind Connor Zilisch.
Okay.
This race is a very good race, very fun road course. They can race in the rain, so if it ends up raining, they can race in the rain here at this one.
Nice.
So you will get this race in.
How do they do that? They switch tires?
Yeah, they put tread on the tires. They got some Goodyear Racing Eagles with some tread.
Man, stuff's changed a lot.
They got windshield wipers and some lights. They can actually do.
They have lights.
Yeah, tail light that blinks.
Oh, okay.
Headlights, but tail light.
Gotcha.
They can also do at all short tracks except for Bristol because of the banking. They can do wet weather tires too. So like Martinsville, Richmond, they can race in the rain there.
That's awesome.
As long as it's not a downpour. If it's a downpour,
yeah,
then
like
it's
Daytona.
unsafe.
Yeah.
But yeah, be a good race. I'm gonna go Carson Hocevar in this one just because I feel like he's a good road racer. He's aggressive, and that's what you need on these road courses. And I think he's wanting to prove a point, and that with that Spire team. Long shot, I'm gonna put Connor Zilic there. First Cup race, I'd like to see it happen. What about you, bud?
Give me Kyle Busch, baby.
Kyle Busch.
I want Kyle Busch. He's an experienced driver. I'd love to see him get a win.
Yeah.
Of course, I'm going to be cheering again, guys. I'm trying to pick a driver, so I'm cheering for Willem Byron.
Yeah.
Drives number 24. Shout out Jeff Gordon. And then, of course, I got to go with Chase Elliott.
Yeah, I like it.
That's my 3.
Yeah, Chase starting third today, so we'll see.
Yeah.
It'll be an interesting race today, guys. This race does start at 3:30, I think. 3:30.
Yep, 3:30, man. In Texas.
In Texas, at the road course, so it'll be a good little
400.
race. But yeah, guys, it's our only episode. Again, we're only doing one long one per week. Hope you guys enjoy. Hope you have a wonderful Monday. Be sure to follow us on Facebook and YouTube to catch our 10-minute segment if we end up dropping one this week. But y'all have a good one. Be safe out there. Love you guys.
Peace.
Peace and love.
Peace and love.